Welcome to another episode of the Smiles Ahead podcast powered by Burrow Welchel Culp Orthodontics. Today, we're going to dive into a topic that is probably the number one, if not number two, asked question, and that is the cost and affordability of braces. So, as usual, I'll give you a quick answer in the first couple minutes, and then if you want to stay tuned and listen to a little bit more of the details, you're welcome to. So, long story short, braces is a large financial commitment. We all know that. We all know that it is a high price tag. There are a lot of things that we're going to go through that can help negate that cost without having to really dive down and get something on the cheaper level. So there's a big difference between cheap orthodontics and value orthodontics, and there's a way to make those affordable. So at BWC Orthodontics, we do monthly payments. We use insurance. We use HSA, FSA, a lot of different things that can typically get your monthly payment down to something that looks more like a phone bill in that, $120, $130, $150 range versus a car payment that may be like $800 a month or something like that. And we certainly don't have to pay that big price tag all at one time. This is typically 0% financing unless we want to go over 2 or 3 years, which can be beneficial if you really need to get that payment way down there. You don't mind paying a little bit of interest. There is those availabilities to pay over even a longer period of time. But long story short, a lot of orthodontists, especially at Burrow Welchel Culp Orthodontics, we make it very affordable and we make it very easy and low barrier to entry to get quality board certified orthodontists to do your orthodontics. So we just want to start with that. And we went through a few things. A lot of people ask, the main reason is, orthodontics is expensive, right? Is it worth it? What are we getting here? Is this medically necessary? Do I have to do this? And the answer is always somewhere in the middle. It's not as medically necessary as something that might be life-threatening, but it certainly brings a lot of value. We all know about the aesthetic value, getting straight teeth, getting space closed, getting crowded corrected, getting that smile that you want. We call it the Hollywood smile. But that's not the most important part. The most important part is going to be the health setup of the teeth and how those teeth come together. So when we move the upper and lower teeth, we're getting them into a position where they hit each other in a more sound way, where more teeth are hitting all together, which makes everything in the system work a lot better for a lot longer. And that's going to be the main goal, to negate some of these dental problems that we might have seen come down the road in the future. But by getting orthodontics, we're able to negate those. So we have the aesthetic part of it, we have the health part of it, and then there's obviously the psychological benefits. With bullying's always been a thing, but it seems to, with online stuff, social media, all that going on, it's probably even worse. So what we want to really make sure is that we can get that, maybe that space closed, maybe it's something, and it's always going to be different with each kid, with each adult. And it's not just those adolescents that are getting bullied. It's also adults that have been getting bullied their whole life about their smile, or, they're self-conscious about it. Maybe people aren't even saying anything, but they look at a picture each time and go, oh my God, look at that tooth. I can't smile. I got to be on this side of the camera, all that stuff. So the psychological benefits are huge. And that's why we don't want anyone to, give up quality of their orthodontic smile, because of price tag. We do know that that is a substantial price tag with quality orthodontics, but here's some way to make it very affordable. The first thing is insurance. A lot of people say, well, will my insurance cover it? And that's a great question. With orthodontics, insurance, I wouldn't say gets tricky, but it is very specific to orthodontics versus dentistry. It is a one-in-a-lifetime shot at it. So if you have a $2,000 benefit, that is used up one time and then it's gone. It's not like it replenishes the next year, or, whatever the case may be. It's $2,000. That's all you're going to get. That's what's going to happen. And that's about a good average. If you have some coverage, it goes anywhere from $1,000 to $2,000. We've seen up to $4,000 of coverage. It rarely, in very rare cases, covers everything. But the good thing is, if it does take a big chunk out of it, just for even numbers, say it's, $5,000 for braces, and you get $2,000 insurance. It takes your responsibility down to $3,000. Your treatment plan might be maybe a year, year and a half, 2 years. You can finance that in office. At BWC, we do it without any interest. So essentially, you're just paying monthly. Typically, I think our average price is in that $150 range per month, and that pays out the rest of it. So we always say, think about insurance, but also just think of that as a great benefit. It's going to take down my responsibility, and then trust your orthodontist and trust that program on how we're going to make the rest of that affordable. There's also things like flex spending. So a lot of people have, some FSA cards. A lot of people have a health savings account. That's going to be a tax-free account that you can add money to. So that's going to save you a lot there. A lot of people pile that in there and then pay the whole thing off with tax-free money. So you're not having to pay taxes on your braces, which is always a good thing. But others just want to use a chunk of it. So say you have some other health stuff coming up. You're like, I don't want to use all of it on braces, or I got another kid coming up. Great. You can use that, $1,000, $2,000, $3,000, whatever you want to do, again, to chop that big price down so then we can help that make that very affordable for you. And a lot of people ask too. So say you have a certain contract where maybe you're paying $200 a month. You put a certain amount down, and then your FSA, restocks in January and you want to pay a big portion off. No problem. We can change that contract whenever you want. So we make it real flexible. If you want to pay in, chunks of 4, or if HSA is coming through, FSA is coming through, we will work with you at our company. So always ask those and always see if there's flexibility in changing any type of contract, because you might want to pay it off earlier. You might want to hit a big chunk to get that monthly payment from $150 to $50 or something like that. So those are always great options as well. Family saving plan. At Burrow Welchel Culp, we really like having, that family ties. If we have someone in the family in braces and we're about to get another one, we always give what we consider a family discount. So friends and family discount, that's for just showing your loyalty to the practice and knowing that getting multiple kids going at one time, and sometimes the parents want to get going at the exact same time, or a boyfriend and girlfriend, or a husband and wife. It's important to us that they can do it together and still make it affordable. So a couple of different examples that we have is, not only twins, but sometimes females, for example, lose their baby teeth a little bit faster than males traditionally. So if you have an 11-year-old female and a 13-year-old male, and their brother and sister, they want to get the braces done at the same time. They're both ready to go, but mom's looking at it going, man, that's 2 big price tags. How are we going to do that? Well, what we do is we can split those down payments. So it's just like starting one kid, and we can extend those payments even past treatment. So a lot of practices will not do that, and they make you pay your braces off before you get them off. So, this can go out 36, 48, even further sometimes, if it's the right circumstance. And that allows those monthly payments to regulate. So it basically looks like you're paying for one child. Now you have to pay a little bit longer, but for convenience-wise and cash flow-wise in your life, and not having knowing that you have other expenses, this is a great way that we've found that we can let the siblings or friends and family and enjoy having braces together without having to say, well, no, you have to wait because his is more serious or hers is more serious. And so that takes care of that. There's also some charitable organizations out there. If you look around, what we do is Smiles Change Lives is a huge charity that we use and we give cases to. So Burrow Welchel Culp actually donates these cases to these specific kids. Smiles Change Lives picks the cases. We see if they qualify, and then we get the braces on. So that's a good way. If you're looking at that, that's one that you can look up, Smiles Change Lives. There's some government programs that help you out, that especially if it's medically necessary and that type of thing. But the main focus too is when you're looking at affordability of braces and the expense of braces, looking at the top line and not looking at the value that you're going to get is probably the biggest mistake we see. So with especially a lot of these direct to consumers, we just had one of them that went completely out of business, the biggest one actually. And then we still have a few that are hanging out there, but they really dropped the price really low. So it looks great. You know, oh man, they had their before and afters. It looked just as good as the orthodontist. But truth is, you're giving up tons of value for that low price. And what it's going to ultimately do is cost you a lot more. So what we are really advocating for you to do, and we really make it a big push at Burrow Welchel Culp Orthodontics to make very high quality orthodontics very affordable for about any budget. And we use those things: insurance, flex, in-office financing, care credit, family savings, government assistance, charity organizations. We use all of that to combat that high price that comes along with orthodontics to make it affordable for you. So if you've been thinking about orthodontics for your child, for yourself, and you've been kind of hesitant because you know, hey, this is going to be very expensive. I got this going on right now. We got this going on. And there are other important things, but this is something where we want to make sure that we can get all those benefits out of braces and orthodontics without having to break the bank or change the budget. Because again, everyone loves a great smile. It's the first thing that most people see on somebody when they walk in. So it's impactful for the rest of their lives. You know, we always hate saying, oh, we change lives. But in reality, a smile does change a life. So, and can bring joy to others. The health benefits, like we mentioned before, the psychological benefits of having that pretty smile and knowing you can walk in with a big smile and be at any angle on the camera and all that good stuff. So I hope this helps. I hope that we know that, you know, even though there is a big price tag, we will make it work. So come down and see us, especially at Burrow Welchel Culp Orthodontics. Have the conversation with us. We look at every case unique. So it's not like if you come in with a unique situation, just talk to us and we can customize a plan that works just for you. Look forward to seeing you. Don't hesitate because of price, and we will see you soon. Well, thanks again for joining us for another episode of the Smiles Ahead podcast, and look forward to seeing you next week.
Thanks for listening to the Smiles Ahead podcast powered by Burrow Welchel and Culp Orthodontics. Be sure to leave a rating, hit that subscribe button, and if you have more questions, you can reach out to me directly at sam@bwcortho.com. That's sam@bwcortho.com. You can also visit our website, bwcortho.com, and we will be happy to answer any questions you might have.